Yeah, so maximize your solar potential with new residential and commercial solutions from Growatt. Just products we've been releasing for the last couple of years and optimizing and working through the Canadian market through regulations and everything like that. For me, you can go ahead and click through these first few slides pretty quickly. So our business focus at Growatt, we focus on 4 primary things: EV chargers, inverters, energy storage, and portable power stations, all of which you can see on the wall behind me. Over the last few years, we've had a lot of business growth, 1.9 million cloud users. Our factories have a production of 3.1 million inverter capacity. Our inverters are installed in 180 plus countries. We really are a global country, based in China, with where our manufacturing center is, and we recently opened another manufacturing center in Vietnam as well. We reinvest almost 5% of our revenue, which is thankfully very easy since we're so large and distribute to so many different countries. We have global presence. I'm currently in Los Angeles. Boris is over in Florida. Fermin is in Boston. And of course, we are a big fan of our exclusive partnership with you guys in Canada. General map of our field application engineers, service engineers, project managers. So we're really all through the US. And we have been doing a great roadshow through the US, giving training to some of our larger customers and distributors. Hopefully, we're going to drive our trailer up to Canada one of these days.
Would love to have you.
Some of our milestone history, founded in Shenzhen in 2011, quickly expanded into the US and UK markets, also the Australian and Brazilian markets, Mexico, where we have a huge sort of dominating market share in those countries. And then finally, in 2021, we became the world's #1 residential inverter supplier. And in 2023, we were also ranked #1 PV inverter supplier in the world, which we're obviously very happy with. Our goal is to build the world's largest intelligent, sustainable energy ecosystem. And we're very happy to have you guys at Frankensolar as an exclusive Canadian distributor for us. So we've been going through years of expansion, and you guys are currently carrying our MIN residential US inverter, which you can see right here behind me, the V3 with the whole home backup switch and 10-year warranty, Wi-Fi, 4G, LAN, generator function. Now we have working correctly, hopefully in the Canadian market. Love to see it. And our EV chargers and our new low voltage 10K residential inverter and off-grid inverter, which Fermin's going to talk about in just a second. In the future, we're looking forward to expanding into our WIT commercial product as well, which Boris is gonna cover. So just a brief introduction to some of our leading products. Again, our MIN inverter, there's a ton of different sizes, 3.5 up to 11.4 kilowatts. Very easy, quick 15-minute commissioning, especially with our brand new Shiner app, which we've optimized for installers. An extremely low RMA rate. Here in the US, Sunrun is one of our largest partners, and our MIN inverter is the primary choice for hybrids, Sunrun's hybrid string inverter choice. Our SYN 200 amp pass-through transfer switch, which allows generator function, whole home backup in 0.5 seconds. And then, of course, the APX battery, which pairs with both of those. Stackable, it's battery ready, so you don't need a battery. Stackable from 5 kilowatts up to 30 kilowatts. So you can kind of add on as you go or as you need for battery backup. All of these are outdoor rated, IP65 rated. Here's a typical whole home backup grid design. As you can see, generator as well. Then next up, we have our SPH, which Fermin will go into more detail on, but primarily we offer a 10K option, and recently we got full UL approval for an 8K option as well, just to give a bit of a price difference there, because we do have 1.5 DC-AC ratio on this. So the output is 10K, but you could put 15 kW of solar into it, which is nice. And this pairs, it has an integrated transfer switch and does pair with our low voltage ALP batteries. They have built-in BMS control as well, which is nice to see. And they're smart charging, smart mixing with all of our batteries, which just makes it easier for the install, easy to replace and go back if one were to fail, which is, hopefully unlikely. And then next up, here's just a single line diagram of what the SPH might look like. And our EV chargers, we offer two models, the residential one, which I have here next to me, and then we do offer a commercial one that wouldn't be using your car's onboard charging as well. So it's a 40 kilowatt and 7 to 12 kilowatt. And finally, our commercial WIT, 28 to 55 and 55 to 100, which is paired with our APX high voltage battery, 86 to 200. Boris will be going over this in depth, but we have a couple different versions that do offer three-phase, 208 and 480. And I think lastly would be our 2025 product lineup here. And so we have all kinds of different products, residential, we have off-grid right there in the middle. As you can see, the SPH inverter and the portable power stations on the bottom. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Fermin, and he's going to cover the SPH in a bit more detail here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tyler. Yep, so my name is Fermin. I'm an applications engineer at Growatt. I'll go over the SPH very quickly. I'll provide an overview. So this is our low voltage battery, low voltage hybrid inverter solution for the North American market. This SPH is rated for 10,000 watts. It works with lithium-ion batteries as well as lead-acid batteries. It's a very versatile product, very well suited for off-grid, fully off-grid applications, applications for partial home backup. It may be used for whole home backup as well, although I'll go further into that later. It's a very well it provides a very good value for the inverter. So it comes with an integrated LCD screens where you're able to do the full commissioning process and see real-time data. It supports multiple operating modes, so it allows you to optimize the energy management or energy flow for every application you can think of. It also comes with a terminal that supports a connection to a diesel generator. Also provides comes with a function for bus bar protection, which I'll go over later. And yeah, it comes with a standard 10-year warranty, product warranty, IP65 NEMA 4 rating, very good use for outdoors. And also there's an option, it comes with two options for communications. One is Wi-Fi and LAN, and the other is Wi-Fi and 4G, which comes with either a 5 or a 10-year data plan. So a little bit into the specifications, we have the maximum string voltage for the PV of 525 volts. The operating voltage range is 150 to 450 volts. It comes with 3 MPPT trackers, which allows you to set up a system with multiple orientations or roof orientations. It allows you to connect up to 2 PV strings per MPPT, allowing you to connect up to 6. The maximum input current is 22 amps. Short circuit current is 27 amps. The system is able to support a split phase or 3-phase power system. So basically it provides 120 to 40 volts on a split phase configuration or 120 to 8 on 2 lines. The maximum pass-through current for this inverter is 63 amps. So make sure you don't exceed this load when connecting on the load portal on the load ports. The maximum charge and discharging current of the battery ports is 200 amps. As I mentioned before, it supports 48 volt battery systems, and it comes with a built-in RSC transmitter Same as the MIN inverter, you have the option to order the Tigo or the AP Smart transmitter that is compatible with same devices as the MIN inverter. It's also UPS rated, so meaning the transition time between off-grid and on-grid and off-grid is only 10 milliseconds. So I think Tyler mentioned it before, but it comes with a integrated ATS, so you don't need to install a separate ATS for home backup. So this is a typical configuration. This is what typical configuration of the typical application for the SPH looks like. It comes with integrated CTs, which will go in between the meter and the main service panel. Yeah, basically you can connect up to 3 strings on the PV side, DC coupled PV. You'll have the batteries, which I'll go over in a second. And then you would also have the option to connect the generator to the gen ports. You can connect up generator rated up to 10 kilowatts of power to each inverter. And then yeah, this would be the typical application, although you could use it for small CNI applications or also whole home backup applications.
I think we've actually tested that unit. I don't know, Alex seems to be here. Alex, did you do the testing on that one?
We have done some testing. We have not done the generator testing for our unit.
Okay, but you've started testing that unit, and so
yes, exactly. Up there, we have it set up in the warehouse, and it's running right now.
Yeah, if someone is in the Toronto area and wants to come by and see it, definitely welcome to pop by here.
Perfect. Sounds good. So this is the compatible battery, which Frankensolar also has. This is our solution for low voltage battery, lithium-ion battery. It's LFP chemistry as well as all of our batteries. In terms of certification, it's certified to UL 9540 with our SPH inverter and UL 1973. It's tested to UL 9540A. This battery comes in 5 kilowatt-hour modules. It includes heating films. The operating ambient temperature ranges from -10 to 50 Celsius. As Tyler mentioned, it includes the BMS inside the modules. It's scalable to 320 kilowatt hours. It's also floor or wall mounted. So this picture that you're seeing here, it's the floor mount. It allows you to stack up to 5 battery modules, although the wall mount allows you to stack only 4. It's IP66 rated, so it's very good battery. We also our SPH is also compatible with several other battery systems. So these are some of the brands that we work with or we're compatible with. We're constantly updating and working with third battery manufacturers to expand this list. So if you want to look at the latest and most updated list of battery models, you can find it available at our US Growatt website. Yeah, there you would find the brands and the specific models that are compatible with our inverter. In terms of the features overview, so compared to the MIN inverter, this SPH inverter is able to provide a 120 to 40 volt split phase output. Therefore, you don't need to install an external device or a split phase transformer for this purpose. It allows 100% imbalance in between lines, meaning that you can output 5 kilowatts line to neutral, and then 0 on the other line. As I mentioned before, it comes with this interactive touchscreen, which allows you to see the system in real time, see the status, real-time status of the system, faults, warnings, adjust settings, do commissioning. As I previously mentioned, it has the 3 MPPT ports. Each MPPT ports allows you to connect up to 2 strings in parallel for 3 different group orientations. It comes with a dual battery input port. Make sure the version that you order is the V version. These battery ports are rated for 200 amps. So yeah, this eliminates the need for a combiner box to parallel multiple battery strings. It also comes with integrated breakers. There's 4 integrated breakers, 1 on the battery side, 1 on the grid side. There's a breaker for the generator and the load side as well. The SPH allows you to adjust the CT direction. So whatever direction you install the CTs, you can adjust that from the inverter screen. It comes with all the safe features, AFCI, UL 1699B certified, AC over current protection and over voltage protection, GFCI as well. So it's a very safe system. It also allows you to connect a third-party PV system. So this is what the AC coupled solution looks like. This allows you to connect a third-party PV system to the generator ports. This allows you to connect up to 10 kilowatts of power on the AC coupled on the gen ports of AC coupled PV. This basically allows you to control more easily the third-party PV system to avoid any overloads or any damage to the inverter. It also has the over frequency or the frequency control to adjust the output of the third-party PV system. But in case it's needed, the inverter is able to cut off the power completely to the inverter from the third-party PV system. There's also a load shedding function. So basically, this function allows you to connect a load to the gen ports as well. This allows you to control a non-critical load in an off-grid case. So once the system reaches a low state of charge that you can easily set in the inverter, this will automatically turn off the non-critical load to avoid further discharging of the battery. This is what the load shedding function looks like. You will basically connect a non-critical load on the gen terminal ports, and once the battery reaches a low state of charge, the battery will completely turn off this load and will continue providing power to the backup loads. Once the battery is charged to a high set point, the non-critical load will turn on automatically as well. This is all user adjustable through the screen. So as I mentioned before, it's suitable for 3-phase power systems. The inverter allows you to parallel up to 6 of them. It's well suited for small CNI applications. So in this configuration, you just need to set one of the inverters to as the master and the others as slaves, and then you'll only be needing to adjust the settings or commission the system on the master inverter, and all the others will follow that one, all the settings for that inverter. Okay, this is what a typical whole home backup configuration would look like. As I mentioned before, the pass-through current rating of the inverter is only 63 amps. So if you stack 2 of them, you'll be able to provide 126 amps of pass-through current to the inverters, and this will allow you to connect two of them to a 125 service panel. If you have a 200 amp service panel, you can connect more. So three of them will provide enough battery current for providing whole home backup. So yeah, it's suited for those applications as well. And yeah, the last but not least is the multiple operating working modes. So this allows you to operate the system in different modes. The self-consumption modes allows you to use the most power from the system, either PV or battery, to power your home loads. And you can also set that system to do zero export mode. So let's say in a case where there's well, the batteries are fully charged and there's a surplus PV power, you can set up the system to ramp down the PV power so it doesn't export any power to the grid. You can also set the system to battery first, meaning that it can charge a battery at full rate from PV or grid, or both at the same time. You can also set the system to a peak shaving mode. This mode allows you to discharge the battery once the power from your loads exceeds a certain threshold. Yeah, allowing you to avoid any demand charges from the utility in cases where it's needed. And also the system supports time of use schedules. This allows you to set the system to different schedules according to your energy rates, and be able to discharge the battery at any time. As I mentioned before, this is a very versatile inverter. It allows you for AC coupling, DC coupling, both at the same time. It allows you to do both lithium and lead acid batteries, and at the same time, it allows you to couple up to 10 kilowatts of power, of generator power, of a diesel generator power. It's also suited with the busbar protection function. This function allows you to control the power that you set or that you push to a main service panel, to the busbar that you're interconnecting the inverter to. So in cases, this allows you to bypass the 120% rule, basically. So basically, in case you have, let's say, a 200 amp panel, and you want to connect a 10 kilowatt inverter or a 11.4 kilowatt inverter, this function allows you to connect to it, using the PCS function. It basically continuously monitors the current from the CTs coming from the utility, or the power coming from the utility, and the power getting output by the inverter, and it allows you to control the output of the inverter to make sure that it never gets exceeded. The rating of the bus bar never gets exceeded. So yeah, with that, I'll pass it over to Boris, who will go over the CNI solutions. Thank you.
Thanks, Carmen. Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. Let's go into the CNI solution. I'm going to try to share, and if it doesn't work, then
Okay, I'll stop sharing.
then I'll ask you, Fermin, if it doesn't work.
Yeah, no worries.
You got it.
Yeah, I think so. I'll see.
Working
see the
so far.
slides?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick step back and just talk really quick about smart management. So this is available for the WIT as well as the SPH. But on the WIT, we have the ShinePhone app, which you can use and tie directly to your system to monitor it. And this is with our commercial offering. I'm sorry, I'll get to that. And then the server monitors is also online for anybody. You can set up our system to monitor it remotely over the web, and that's included in the price of the inverter. So let's talk about the WIT. This is our commercial offering, and it looks like this. We offer a WIT and APX. The WIT is the model number of the inverter. And we have two series for that. We have a 208 volt 3-phase output, and then we have a 480 volt 3-phase output. The sizes are shown there. We have 28 to 55 kilowatts for the 208 and 50 to 100 for the 480 volt. They can be paralleled. If it's a system that is entirely on grid and there's no need for any backup, you can do up to 6 in parallel. And if there's any off-grid, any backup protection UPS loads, those can be paralleled up to 3. So we have 3 for maximum off-grid loads. Just some quick specs for the battery. The batteries that go with these inverters, for the 208 volt versions, we have an 86 to 114 kilowatt hour battery that connects directly to it. That's a range. And then for the 480 volt version, we have a 129 all the way up to 200 kilowatt hour. The
Yellow. That's it. Yeah, it's me.
Please mute yourselves, guys.
Oh, I'm alright. Dealing with a very annoying USB-C dock, trying to listen to my WebEx meeting and multitask while taking care of my daughter.
Sorry about that, guys. Wasn't
That's
me.
okay. Yeah, I see it muted. Okay, I'll keep going. So with PV, the rule of thumb for our inverters is there's up to 2x PV versus output power. So for our 50 kilowatt inverter, it can process 100 kilowatts of solar. The only time that's an exception is on our biggest inverter, the 100 kilowatt unit can only do 156 kilowatts of solar. Each unit has up to 10 MPPTs inputs, 2 strings per MPPT. We have those inputs directly on the inverter, on the side of the inverter. Can be Delta or Y connected, and is good for indoor or outdoor use. The only request, and I'll show this on the next slide, is for if it's outdoor, we request an awning over the inverters, not so much for water, but more for solar loading. Warranty comes 10-year standard on both pieces of equipment. The inverter has 15 or 20-year options. Really quick, with regards to certifications, we have all the main US certifications, the UL 1741 with supplement SASB, 1973 on the batteries, 9540 for the system, and 9540A for the batteries as well. And then for the CSA cert, we have 22.21071. And we are in progress to get 22.3 number 9 listed on our certificate as well. Just even though it's not an inverter cert, it's really good to have it on the cert. So we're getting that soon. Moving on, I wanted to show just a quick image of what the system might look like. This is an external system. And as shown, we have a WIT inverter, the APX battery. We're showing an SCMX, which I'll explain what that is later, but it's not necessary on a single inverter system like this. We just want to show it there so you can see the scale of it. AC combiner box is also not necessary in all applications, but again, just wanted to show kind of what the system might look like in some practical system. And then on the top are the solar panels. Moving on. So the WIT is a lot like the SPH. Just like with the SPH, how it pulls all the equipment internally and, for example, has a transfer switch internal, the WIT does the same. So our goal with this product is to make installation as easy as possible. We're trying to remove the need for 6 different or 5 different pieces of equipment. We want to just have it all be located in one thing. You have quick connections between them, and then you can pretty much just plug it in and run it. So that's what the inverter does. It has an ATS internal. I'll show that way later on. It has MPPTs internal, and then we offer the battery that connects directly to the WIT. Communication on the inverter. The inverter outputs its signals over Modbus RTU, and that we have a Modbus register map that we're happy to share with our customers, which they can use to interface with any third-party EMS, or if they want to just have their own portal. The readout information is everything from the battery information, all comes from the inverter, and or the inverter information. So PV, power, any voltages, you can keep that monitored 24/7. The inverter does support dry contact generator startup, and we have a mode to program that in, so you can set battery SOC start and stop in order to turn on an external generator, and I'll show you later on how that might look in a system. And then the last thing to note is that our batteries do communicate over CAN, but that happens all through the inverter, so that's not expected at the end user. They don't have to use any of that. We can just do it all through Modbus. I have some charts here to show the configurations of the WIT and APX that are available or optimal. So you'll see that our battery has a max discharge and charge rate of C/2. So on a 100 kilowatt hour battery, the max charge on that is 50 kilowatts. And so you'll see that on any, you can still use a larger battery on a smaller inverter. Or I'm sorry, a smaller battery on a larger inverter, but you'll be limited by the battery C rate only in charging your battery. So we just like to show this for the WIT 100K. If you connect it to a APX 129 kilowatt hour, you'll be limited to 64 kilowatts, but the system will still operate just fine. There's no restriction there except that you have that C/2 rate on the batteries. Multiple applications and solutions. I'd like to show this really quick just to show that our inverter, again, we're trying to make this a one-stop shop for all commercial applications. We have self-consumption modes, peak shaving, time of use, zero export. I have some more on the next slide, but these are all programmable via our own internal software. You can do this through our portal remotely, so you can adjust that as you need. It can be password protected, so you have access to that. You can do it locally over our app, Shine Server app. So these settings are all programmable, and then also you could do it over Modbus. Let me just show the next slide to show a few more. Power expansion, microgrid, backup power and power quality adjustments can all be done through the inverter. One of my last points is to show what these systems look like, and I think this really illustrates just how simple the systems can be. I have here a simple on-grid solution, single system. So there's one inverter, one battery. And on that battery, we have our grid input, our PV battery, all going into our inverter as a centralized location. There is no backup load in this system. So this would be useful for like time of use applications, peak shaving, self-consumptions. You can do zero export with this system, of course. And yeah, it's just a really simple solution. All of this can work without the other. So let's say you don't have PV and you want to use a time of use application. You can do so and just take the PV out and just connect the battery to it, and the inverter's fine with that. I'll keep going just to show some more. This is the same application, but on a larger system. So we can parallel the WIT, but when we parallel the WIT, the only thing that changes is that we have to add an SCMX or some external EMS in order to manage and balance the systems. We sell the SCMX as an option for that, and it's our preferred option. It's just plug in. You don't have to do any programming. And the SCMX will do that for you, so it'll manage those inverters or together, but one at a time independently, and make sure that they're staying balanced with each other. This is what the system looks like when you add a backup load. So you can separate your loads, or you can put all of your loads on the primary load. As we have it shown, we have a primary load and a secondary load. The secondary load will not have battery backup, but the primary load would, because it's on the load port of the inverter. So in the event of a grid outage, our inverter has an internal ATS at the grid input, which will open. And so the secondary load will not have power, but the primary load will. The last thing that's noteworthy on this diagram, besides the overall system and how simple it is the bypass breaker. We have a bypass breaker in there just for maintenance. So if you want to do some work on the inverter, but you need your load to stay online, then you can use that bypass breaker to keep the system online over grid. But that's its only function. This is just showing that it's the same exact scenario with the on-grid focus system. If you want to do parallel systems off-grid or on and off-grid, you can do that with this system as well, but you need that SCMX, and it works exactly the same way. We have a secondary load, primary load, all being backed up, but this has a 3 inverter maximum. Showing the same on-off grid, but with a diesel generator. We do not offer an ATS, but there's third-party ATSs that we can help size for you. The thing that is noteworthy though is that our inverter can handle the control to that equipment. So in the event that you have a mission critical load that cannot go offline no matter what, or if the batteries die and the grid's offline for too long, then you can have a diesel generator in there, and we can provide the output to that diesel generator to turn it on and off based on the state of our APX battery. And this, I'm not showing it, but it can be done in parallel as well. And the last one I'm going to show is a microgrid application. So if you have any off-grid with a generator, full microgrid system, our inverter is compatible with that too. The unit will prioritize, you can set it to different modes, but normally the unit will prioritize PV and battery. And then in the event that it's necessary, the inverter will control the generator in order to charge the battery and provide power to the output. And it can provide that control and that system. So that's the main focus of the presentation. Where I believe we're sending this presentation out to everybody after this call.
Yeah, it'll be and it will all be available on our YouTube channel, just like anything else that any other webinars we do. Or previous ones we've done with Growatt and other manufacturers, they're all available on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, awesome. So we're gonna the next slides, and there's a lot of them, goes really deep into the detail on the WIT. So if anybody wants more technical understanding of what the system looks like, I'll just show a few slides. For example, on this one, this shows the internal topology of the system. You'll see that in the ATS relay over there on the grid port, which disconnects on a grid outage. You'll see the battery is DC coupled with the PV, trying to get the maximum efficiency that we can out of the system. And then you'll see kind of like this bi-directional system that we have and offer. And then further along, there's more information on the system, the readout for the display, and the connections and stuff. So we have all the connections on the side. So if anybody wants to dive really, really deep into that, yes, the PowerPoint, I believe will be sent out as well. It's on the YouTube, but are you going to put it in the description in the YouTube link? Or maybe not.
I would leave that to marketing, but probably not.
Okay, so maybe we can send the PowerPoint to everybody, but the information will all be there if you guys want really, really detailed understanding of the system. So yeah, this is our WIT and APX commercial offering. So thanks, guys. If you have any questions, please type in the chat, or I believe we're going to Q&A now. So yeah, I'll mute. Thanks.
We had a couple general questions that I could go over. Someone asked a question about the Shiner application versus the Shine Tools application. So typically people have been commissioning the MIN inverter in Canada with the Shine Tools application, which is tried and true, battle tested. And we did recently make an update and a switch over to the Shiner application. That's going to be filtered through basically new hardware. So as new hardware comes online and gets delivered and is in stock, at that point, then the commissioning will take place through the Shiner application with the new hardware. So it's unclear exactly how long that will take, but yes, the Shiner application is available in Canada and will be the new commissioning application moving forward and end user application moving forward at some point in the future.
And to expand on that, yeah, you will be notified of that, of which application to use via sticker on the inverter box or via the Shine Tools app. So if your system uses the Shiner app, the new app, you'll get a notification on or a prompt on the Shine Tools app letting you know to use the other app for commissioning.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome. What's the reason for the changes? Is there some extra features or what's the thought behind it?
I believe it was actually for primarily data security. We're working with a new firm in the US. So the data is housed in the US, and it's most likely going to be more compliant for US data warehousing regulations, things like that. So it's both more secure, and we did optimize it, took all the complaints for the last one, decided not to fix them. We'll make an entirely new thing.
Sounds good.
But yeah, no, not too many complaints. Installers typically love our app. Takes just a few minutes to commission, and at the end you get a nice screenshot of all of your settings you can give to your local AHJ and regulators, stuff like that. We did really work a lot with our distributors to make it really easy for commissioning. So that's great. Just a general overview on the sort of transfer switch and the parallel situation. So our high voltage MIN inverter right here behind me does pair with the 200 amp transfer switch. So those are always a bundle, and you can optionally choose to install the battery as well, the high voltage battery. But the MIN includes the 200 amp transfer switch, and parallel function is not currently available for that. It will be available later this year in 2025. But the SPH residential slash off-grid slash light commercial inverter that Fermin presented, the SPH 10K does have an integrated transfer switch. So that would be just the inverter that you need to install instead of both the inverter and the 200 amp transfer switch. I think I made that a little bit more clear, hopefully. Looks like Travis has a question. Maybe you want to unmute and ask, or ask in the chat. Either way.
Yeah, just to expand on that a little bit there. That 10K, would it be service entrance rated in Canada as the transfer switch is? Like come directly off a meter?
Maybe let Alex answer that one.
Sure.
The SPH 10,000 will not be Canadian service entrance rated. That's just based on the design of the unit and the input section. So you would need to use it as a connection to the electrical panel of the customer, or use a small backup panel or critical loads panel as the backup system.
Yeah, it's probably not a product that you'd use like in a typical residential application for full home backup, as it is only a 60 amp transfer switch in there, not a 200 amp.
That's what the 200 would be better for still.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
it's more of an off-grid product, or maybe some low cost or competitively priced, battery backup for just some things, but not full home backup.
Yeah, it's good at partial home backup, and it's definitely value driven. If you want the whole home residential backup, go with the MIN system, tried and true. But the SPH is a lot more flexible depending on what you're getting at. But yeah, mainly for partial home and then off-grid applications, things like that. But it sounds like it's not quite service entrance rated.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's see. Any other questions anyone has? Fermin, it looks like you answered this about the Modbus protocol. Did you want to comment on that at all?
Yeah, we'll be able to provide the registers. I just need a confirmation from R&D, and in terms of that, just to share that, and also the input output port from the inverter. Yeah, what's the one used?
Okay, sounds good.
Also on Ben Gagno's question here, the SIN 200, is it service entrance rated? Alex is just commenting on it. Yes, the SIN 200 is service entrance rated in Canada. We do have a specific wire separation piece for the Canadian market, which is required according to code up here. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, but I think it's the only unit that is truly full home backup.
That's correct right now. Yes.
Yeah, there's no other inverter company that has a Canadian full home backup solution that is completely. Alex, Ben, can you answer the Tesla thing?
I'm not sure about the latest Tesla gateway, so I'm not too sure about that one.
But the original one, the last version that we saw, was not full home backup
Yes.
for Canada, right? Because it didn't have the separation of the connection box.
Yes, so I see the question from David. Can two SPH 10,000 combine to 120 amp full home backup? Yeah, so the pass-through rating is 63 amps. If you want to do a whole home backup, yeah, for a, let's say a 125 or let's say a 125 amp service panel, you would need two SPH in parallel to, yeah, so that will add up or scale the pass-through current to the service panel. Yeah, so if you have, in case you have a 200 amp service panel, you would need like three of those to provide, yeah, 180 amps.
And for me, there was someone in the chat who I think they said they had a residential house. It was like 20 kilowatts of solar, and they wanted something higher than 11.4 of continuous whole home backup. Is the SPH going to be able to do that since paralleling increases the amperage pass through?
Yeah, I can provide like a specific single line diagram for that application. If you, yeah, I can provide my email here, and you can send me the details of your project to this email, and I will provide some more information how to wire that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can do that.
That sounds good. And so the MIN can't quite power that large residential home, but if you were to parallel a few of the SPH units, you'd certainly be able to power that.
Awesome. If there's no more questions, I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Just a quick thing to add, Derek,
Sure.
before you wrap it up.
Of course, Abdel.
For both products, we already have the SPH plus the low voltage batteries from Growatt here in our test system. And we are ready to receive this week, by the end of this week, the WIT unit, 100 kilowatt, plus the APX commercial for our testing. So if you want to have a look or have some application in mind that you want to test before selling it, feel free to stop by or send me an email.
That's great. We don't usually give tours at our warehouse, but come and tour your warehouse. That sounds great. It looks like we do have one more question for me, and possibly someone asked about EV charger backfeeding to the grid. Will Growatt add the EV charger backfeeding into the house? I'm not quite sure what they mean by this question. Could you guys maybe help clarify?
Yeah, we don't have that feature function available yet on our EV chargers. I guess he's referring to a V2G function, V2 grid, or yeah, on the EV charger. So we don't have that ready yet, but I hope it'll come in the the future products.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Thanks again, guys. Just wanna say, if anyone has any questions, please reach out to your Frankensolar sales rep or myself. We're happy to help out, and then we can also facilitate any calls with the Growatt team if needed. And we of course have two in-house electrical engineers here as well. Also, if you have just general feedback and things that you'd like to see improved on Growatt products, I think Abdel and Alex have very regular calls with the Growatt team to keep improving the products, specifically for the Canadian market. So feel free to let us know if there's something you see that needs to be addressed, or there are any features that you'd like to see.
And we take the feedback. We actually end up doing a lot of the things you guys suggest, which is great to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think it's great, Tyler, how responsive Growatt has been. You know, some things take time, like that new Syn 200 that's coming out. I think that was part of like very early feedback we gave, right? But it's, you know, of course these things take a little bit of time if it's a big thing. But it's all coming, and really excited about the progress with the Growatt products, specifically in the Canadian market. I'm sure you guys have lots of success in the US as well. So again, thank you very much for taking the time today, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these in the near future.
Yeah, of course. Thanks to you guys. You've been a great partner, and we look forward to a long future with you. So yeah,
Sounds
take
good.
care. Thanks everyone, and have a great day.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.